There's a lot of people that are glorifying and glamorizing these celebrities and a lot of other people out there in the world. With people doing that, they shun the people that are giving real, authentic, and powerful information. But see, sometimes with this glamour that people put over themselves, right, it's almost like a spell. And see, the spell, what it does is it gets the viewer to see them from the outside appearance of themselves, but not from the internal aspect. So a lot of these different connections that people are building at times are not truly authentic as what people perceive to be. Perfect example is when it comes down to celebrities. Now, these celebrities, they have influence over the masses, and that's why a lot of people go to their concerts, they buy their CDs, get their music and stuff like that, and people glamorize them as if like they are better than them per se. And I'm not saying that everybody thinks that, but I feel that a lot of people do. And they glorify these people as if they are holier than thou or they are so much better than them. And these are the things that are getting people to go deeper than surface level when it come down to the art and the different things that these celebrities and a lot of musicians and stuff create. If you see in the media, right, all this frenzy is going on, which is creating an imbalance, but it's a subconscious thing. Your energy, when you see these different people and you glamorize and you glorify them, it is tainting with your mental space, which subconsciously speaking, it sinks into that. So then you think that you got to look a certain way. You feel like you got to talk a certain way. You feel like you got to be a certain way just for you to get out there and to share the art that you yourself create. But in the process, you are creating this illusion of ways of being because of what you see from these different celebrities. So you think that, okay, I got to do this in order for me to be able to get out there and share the things that I myself love to do with the collective. These are the things that people are sitting with themselves and thinking through. Because this whole thing where celebrities are glorified and stuff like that, see, all of that stuff is phasing out. And see, with the rise of a lot of these different things that can control the mental space, like AI, for example, depending on the use of it. Another thing I noticed is when it comes down to these different electronics that got the blue light filter and whatnot, I feel like with all of this stuff, it is sinking into your subconscious and is making you perceive reality from a perspective that is not real. So the realness come out when people, one, use discernment. Two, when they are being their authentic self. Three, when they are truly connecting with the people that are in their day-to-day reality rather than putting up this facade just so people can think they are this way, but they're really this way. And see, the mask is being pulled off from a lot of these different people, and also the blindfold is coming off of people's eyes and they're starting to see, feel, and think from a different perspective based on the things that they pull and draw their attention to. And in the process, what it's doing is helping you to restructure your mind so you can see things from the perspective of truth. You seeing things for what it is and not what your mind trying to perceive it to be when it's an illusion. It's a false representation of something that is not truly what it is. This is magicians type things. But it's that energy utilized and the capacity to get people to bend to their will. And this is what a lot of these different celebrities do. They perform these spells and they put people in these different slumbers and people glorify them. But it's not just with them either. Sometimes it could be people content that you watch. When you see these people constantly creating videos for the sake of getting paid and all that other stuff, which is nothing wrong with people doing that, but the way in which they're doing it, where they're swaying the masses of people into a direction where they just fall into this mental space of confusion, frustration, irritation, so far and so forth. But in reality, you see these different celebrities and you think they living good, but to truly be honest, do you know what they go through? We don't. We don't live their life, and that's why we have our own. And with us going back to that mental space of reconnecting to the realness of our mind, body, soul, and spirit, we will start to see things from that real perspective and not from the illusion. This is the reason why Saturn and Neptune is in Aries. Aries dealing with the headspace. With the headspace, it is being challenged. A lot of these old constructs and structures and foundations and also illusionary ways of thinking are being dismantled, broken down, tore down, destroyed. All of these things that are happening within the world that has been putting a blindfold over people's mental and physical way of thinking, that's the stuff that's breaking down in the world. Now, the way you can move away from it is, for one, discernment. Start to ask questions. Embody the Hermit card. So you see things for what it is. When I think about the Hermit card, I think about Chiron too. Because Chiron is, I feel, is a Virgo rule card. Same thing with the Hermit. And with those two energies, see, it's a highlight because Chiron is in Aries too. So with you got Chiron, Saturn, and Neptune. And see, Saturn and Neptune are retrograde right now. So it's getting people to go back through memory, through time, and the headspace. So remember, Aries rules the headspace. And it's getting people to truly think about the things that they themselves did, the illusions that they have surrounding around things that they deal with in their day-to-day reality, whether it be present or the past or things that they will get into in the future. And so it's getting people to think on a deeper level. See, with Saturn being one of those planets dealing with time itself, which we all perceive time in a different way, but Saturn being a father of time is showing people in this physical reality the things that they need to tighten up with, especially when it comes down to the mental space. Neptune, and with Neptune being that warrior planet, it deals with the subconscious mind and the mental space as well, in conjunction with Mercury as well. But with those energies being in Aries, it is putting a strong highlight on people to think differently and also to think from a deeper, more balanced way of thinking. So these old systems and stuff that we used to feel and think that was going to work, it's not going to work anymore. See, there's a new reality for you that you are stepping into. And before you do that, you have to do the internal work. And a lot of it is mental for a lot of people. A lot of people stay in these same cycles over and over and over again, which deals with Saturn, because Saturn shows you the things that you yourself have been doing that's been keep you in this loop. And then now it's time for you to declutter the headspace so you can get your mind right and you can set yourself on the right track so you won't go through these things over and over and over again. Just like I mentioned in several of my previous videos, it's always been the mental space. The mental state of mind, your awareness, your discernment, your intuition, the knowledge and wisdom that you've been instilled in you, have obtained, whether it been through spiritual means of you pulling that information from the higher realms, or you actually reading books and find out information, because you can feel that resonance. You can feel it. And you will know when you came across some information that is helping your mind to grow and expand and evolve. In this day and age, there is a lot of things that are triggering people. And this is happening for a good reason, because it's getting people to think from a different perspective outside of how they used to think, how they used to treat people, how they used to treat themselves, how they show up for themselves, how they structure and give more foundation to their life, how they weed through the illusions that this reality can create that keep you stuck in bondage and keep you in this space of feeling like you can't move beyond that. And see, all of that is being broken down right now. When you dive deeper into yourself, you recognize the patterns. And when you recognize the patterns, you make better choices. When you make better choices, your reality changes. And this is not something that happens overnight. That's why shadow work is important. Even though some people feel like, oh, with shadow work, it's like, oh my goodness, like it be something evil or demonic. No, it's not. Shadow work is you going back to those points in times where whatever it is that you experience had cause any hurt, pain, suffering that you need to release and you need to let go of. And you address those different things. There's people that have childhood wounds. There are people that have wounds from them being an adult. There's things dealing with the present that you continuously going through, because these cycles have to be broken. They have to break down for the newness to flow in and be able to take its course all throughout your life. But first, you have to recognize what is it first that you need to move away from. There's some people that may be experiencing depression right now because they feel like they're not doing enough in life. And see, you are doing enough. But now you are experiencing these things because you are starting to feel the intensity of what these things has been doing, and has done to you over the course of time. And now you recognize that and you feel it. And see, this is a purging that's happening. This is a good thing that these different energies and stuff is coming onto the planet, and also the effect that it's having on you, because it's getting you to go deeper than what you've been going. Pluto being in Aquarius. Pluto is one of those planets that come in like a bowling ball. They start breaking stuff down. It's that tiny planet, but that tiny planet has a big punch. It packs a big punch. And with Aquarius being one of those signs that is a humanitarian, expansive, technology, all of that stuff. And we see in our day-to-day reality, all of these different things are changing. But one of the things that's also changing is the original technology. And that original technology is within you. Everything outside of you is a mirror of what you already have within yourself. You already have these different things within you. You are the original technology. You are the reason why this construct exists in the first place, because it is your mind creating this reality. It has always been your mind. That is your supercomputer. It is your mind. Just like when you see a computer outside of yourself, that's a representation of you, what you have stored up here. This is powerful. When you tap back into this, you see the fullness of it, and then you can expand it. The mental, the mind. Mind is something that you cannot perceive to be anything physical. You just know that it's there because this is where you pull information from. But see, it downloads within your psyche. I know I bounced around a little bit, and all of these things come full circle because at the end of the day, it has always been the mental space. This is all that a lot of people need to start decluttering and working on. It's the mental space. Because the mental space can send things down to your heart, and then your heart space will feel what your mind perceived to be real. And you figure out that it's not real, then it's been an illusion. And look how much of an attack has been on your heart because of that. And see, it sinks down into the other parts of your body as well, where you can feel it in your gut. Because all of this stuff is connected. The gut, the heart, the mind. The higher energies, the middle way, the lower energies. But they all need to be in sync. And this is what is happening right now with a lot of people globally. They are feeling this in different aspects of their life, but it's getting them to see themselves for more than what they have been seeing themselves as before, because you are a whole lot more than what you think you are. And some of us do not know that, but some of us do. And for the ones that do, you're going to expand it. For the ones that don't, you are getting into that space where you know. And when you know, you cannot not know. It will just always be. Once you come across the information and the energy that you need to heal these different aspects of yourself and to grow and evolve within this healing energy, that's when you start to grow. This is where you expand. This is when you start to become that being that has this higher level of awareness. But when you have that type of awareness, you share it with different people. Because these people in your day-to-day reality is an aspect of you that you see. And you know the thing that you know what I've been saying for quite some time now. You create this reality. I said it previously. You created this reality. You are here because you brought yourself here. You descended down to this physical reality because there are some things that you were meant to evolve through so you can get back to that higher, greater version of yourself. And this is what's unfolding and being unpacked right now. You are changing. You are growing. You are healing. You are evolving. You are expanding. And with all of these planetary bodies, Jupiter being in Cancer, Saturn and Neptune and Chiron being in Aries, Pluto being in Aquarius, Gemini being in Uranus, Uranus, however people pronounce it. Look at these planetary bodies and these energies. And look how much of an effect that it's having on you and how you can use it to your advantage to help you to grow, elevate, and evolve. Now, the question that I have for you is, are you ready to take that leap of faith and that next step so you can grow past the things that's been holding you back for quite some time? Comment, like, follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel at El-Yoshuah the Prophet, and all my other social media channels as well, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at El-Yoshuah the Prophet. I love y'all, and I'm thankful and grateful for y'all. Have an amazing, beautiful, abundant, and prosperous rest of y'all Saturn cycle.